Forget everything you knew about fuel. Sugarcane bioethanol is ushering in a new era of energy. With technologies that automate every step, from planting to distillation, we're able to produce fuel that cuts emissions by 90%. In this video, we'll show you how simple sugarcane stalks could hold the key to an energy revolution. Don't miss out, this is a true breakthrough. It all starts with sugarcane. Sugarcane thrives best in tropical and subtropical climates with plenty of moisture and sandy or loamy soils. That is why tropical regions like Brazil, India, and parts of the United States are ideal for its cultivation. Before planting sugarcane, a soil analysis is performed to determine the potential of hydrogen and nutrient content. Specialized sensors analyze moisture, potential of hydrogen, and nutrient levels, automatically adjusting soil treatment. The optimal pH for sugarcane ranges from 5.5 to 7.0, and based on these readings, fertilizers are applied, usually nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Modern tractors equipped with GPS systems are used for precise soil preparation. They can handle plowing, cultivating, and fertilizing with maximum efficiency. After preparing the soil, a simple variety of sugarcane is selected, one that is well suited for consistent yields. Automated planters sow the seeds at a distance of 3 to 5 feet apart and at a depth of 2 to 4 inches to ensure even growth. Workers use specialized sensors to monitor planting depth and row spacing, which increases efficiency by 20%. Next, drip irrigation is used. Modern irrigation systems are equipped with moisture sensors that automatically activate watering only when necessary, helping to conserve water. During the first few weeks, it is crucial to maintain adequate moisture for root development. Drip irrigation can reduce water usage by 30% while promoting better plant growth. Irrigation is controlled through programs that account for weather conditions, typically scheduled 2 to 3 times a week, depending on the weather. Harvesting typically takes place 12 to 18 months after planting, when the sugarcane stalks have reached their peak sugar content. It is important to conduct a sugar content analysis to determine the best time for harvest. Before the harvest begins, fields are assessed for the readiness of the sugarcane, taking into account plant maturity and the presence of any diseases. Once preparations are complete, harvesters take over. These harvesting machines are equipped with specialized heads that allow them to cut the sugarcane stalks without damaging the plants. The heads may use cutting mechanisms that operate by rotation or oscillation. Modern harvesters also come with sensors to monitor moisture levels and plant density, ensuring a more efficient and precise harvest. After harvesting, the sugarcane moves to the initial stage of processing, where it is cleaned and chopped. To prepare the raw material for extraction, the stalks are cut into short segments, about 6 to 8 inches long, followed by preliminary shredding. Shredded stalks are easier to extract juice from, making this step essential for increasing juice extraction efficiency. Specialized machines, shredders or hammer mills, are used, each with different cutting mechanisms such as teeth or knives. Shredders are equipped with cutting elements that ensure fast and even shredding of the sugarcane stalks, preventing irregular particle sizes. The processed sugarcane is fed into a shredding chamber where it is broken down into smaller pieces, typically ranging from 0.8 to 2 inches. This size optimization allows for ideal conditions for juice extraction. Once shredded, the cane particles are discharged from the machine for further processing. Modern biofuel production reminds me of my high school experiments. My parents were environmental activists in their youth, so awareness of ecological issues was practically instilled in me from birth. I was absolutely thrilled when I discovered that you could theoretically make biofuel from ordinary potatoes. It was such a blast, boiling up that potato mixture and then adding yeast. Unfortunately, I didn't have any special yeast, so I had to swipe some regular baking yeast from the kitchen. In the end, I left my biofuel to ferment for a few days, but somehow managed to forget about it for almost a month. Don't ask what I found in that jar when I finally remembered it. You're better off asking how many times I had to mow the lawn as punishment. But honestly, I regret nothing. It was a lot of fun. So where was I? Oh, right. Conveyors automatically transport the shredded sugarcane to the presses, reducing the time between preparation and extraction stages. During the extraction process, the maximum amount of sugar content is released, which is essential for fermentation and biofuel production. In modern industrial settings, extraction is done using large roller presses. Typically, multi-roller presses, 5 to 7 rollers, are used, which gradually apply increasing pressure to the raw material. The first rollers extract 60 to 70% of the juice, while the second and third stages allow for an additional 20 to 30% extraction. As each pressing stage reduces the moisture content of the material, the end result is a dry residue called bagasse, which is also utilized for energy needs. The extracted juice has a high concentration of sugars and moisture, but it also contains solid residues and other impurities that need to be removed. The juice is filtered and purified before fermentation. Filtration systems rely on automated cleaning processes, which monitor the juice composition and automatically remove solid particles and other unwanted impurities. The decanting and centrifugation processes are fully automated, efficiently separating the liquid from the solids. Speaking of bagasse, the solid residue left after extraction, it is used as biomass for energy production, burned to generate steam and electricity. I'm just amazed at how well thought out everything is. After filtration, the sugar juice is prepared for fermentation. It must be treated to create the ideal environment for the yeast, which will convert the sugars into ethanol. The juice is typically mixed with water to achieve the desired sugar concentration, which is usually around 12 to 18%. Special sensors monitor temperature, potential of hydrogen, and solution concentration in real time, ensuring consistency across all batches of juice sent to fermentation. Yeast, the biological catalyst of the fermentation process, is then added to the prepared solution. The yeast dosage is handled automatically, with precise control over the number of active cells in the fermenter. Modern fermentation systems use automated setups for yeast cultivation and regeneration, ensuring a steady and highly efficient process. Fermentation takes place in large tanks that provide the ideal conditions for the yeast. The process typically lasts from 24 to 72 hours, depending on the temperature, yeast type, and desired outcome. Not that long, right? The optimal fermentation temperature usually ranges from 86 to 95 degrees Fahrenheit, and automated systems maintain this range. Oxygen sensors regulate aeration levels because excess oxygen can slow down the conversion of sugar into ethanol. Automation ensures precise control of these parameters. Online monitoring systems measure sugar concentration, ethanol levels, potential of hydrogen, and gas exchange within the tanks. This data allows operators to predict the completion of the process and automatically adjust the temperature or oxygen flow to optimize the final product. Oh, we finally reached the final stage of producing biofuel from sugarcane. After fermentation is complete, the liquid in the tanks contains about 10 to 15% ethanol. The carbon dioxide released during fermentation is collected and can be used in various industrial processes, such as producing soft drinks or for refrigeration. The leftover yeast is also reused or repurposed for other applications. The resulting liquid, which contains ethanol, requires further purification and concentration. To achieve this, specialized filtration and distillation systems are employed, where the liquid is separated into ethanol and water. The filtration process is fully automated, with the liquid passing through multi-stage filters that remove solid particles and yeast. The distillation systems also feature computerized controllers that maintain optimal temperature and pressure for separating ethanol from water with minimal energy loss. The distillation columns are equipped with pressure and temperature sensors to keep the temperature within the necessary range, around 172 degrees Fahrenheit for ethanol. The heat generated during distillation is used to preheat other batches or to maintain temperatures in other parts of the plant. And finally, after distillation and several other processes, we obtain bioethanol, a unique biofuel made from sugarcane. The primary industry where bioethanol is used is transportation. In the United States and Brazil, ethanol is blended with gasoline to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and decrease reliance on imported oil. There are several main types of ethanol fuel blends. E10 is a standard fuel containing 10% ethanol and 90% gasoline. It is widely used in the United States and can be used in most vehicles without the need for engine modifications. E85, on the other hand, is a blend containing up to 85% ethanol and is used in specially adapted vehicles known as flex fuel cars. Ethanol made from sugarcane has significant environmental advantages over fossil fuels. Since sugarcane absorbs carbon dioxide while growing, bioethanol can reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 70 to 90% compared to gasoline. Additionally, ethanol fuel blends help reduce harmful pollutants in exhaust gases, such as carbon monoxide and benzene. Let's not forget the economic benefits as well. Bioethanol creates a substantial number of jobs in agriculture and industry. In both the United States and Brazil, the ethanol production industry provides hundreds of thousands of jobs. At the same time, the automation of production and logistics processes helps lower the cost of ethanol production, making it competitive with gasoline. The price of bioethanol varies by region, but thanks to technological innovations, its cost is gradually decreasing. This is California, USA, where around 1.7 million cows on thousands of dairy farms produce more than 13 million gallons of milk every day. So, how does this massive amount turn into the sweet treat that once saved soldiers' lives and changed history? I visited one of the largest factories in the world to dive into the fascinating process of making condensed milk and to share the story with you. In 1856, American inventor Gale Borden first came up with this product. His creation solved the dilemma of preserving milk in the days before refrigerators, making it possible to store milk in cans for at least a year. During the American Civil War, it played a crucial role in supplying soldiers with milk in combat zones where dairy cows were not available. Thanks to its long shelf life and valuable nutritional properties, it became the preferred choice for feeding soldiers. The process of making condensed milk begins on dairy farms. To meet the high demand for this delicious product, factories like Nestlé's in California operate around the clock, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This factory processes more than 420,000 gallons of milk daily. Massive tank trucks arrive non-stop, transporting between 130,000 and 185,000 gallons of milk each day from nearby farms. Most of the incoming milk was collected just 6 hours earlier, so it's incredibly fresh. However, before the milk is accepted, it undergoes lab testing. The fat and salt content must meet factory standards, and the milk must be free of antibiotics to avoid allergic reactions in some people. But where do the farmers get such milk? Most of the milk in the US comes from roughly 60,000 dairy farms, where over 9 million cows are raised specifically for milk production. Over the past century, the milking machine has become an essential tool. The part of the machine that attaches to the cow's teat is called a cup, and it works similarly to a hand, applying pressure to the udder to extract milk. A farmer can manually milk about 6 cows per hour, but with a specialized device, that number can jump to 100 cows per hour. The ingenuity of this innovative device has optimized milk production, but the way a farmer cares for their cows also impacts the quality of the milk. The more care given to the animals, the longer their lifespan and the more milk they produce. On this massive dairy farm, 8,000 cows graze. It's one of many farms that use technology to improve cow living conditions and boost productivity. In cow carousels, known as milking parlors, up to 80 cows can be milked at once, twice a day. Dairy cows are creatures of habit, and they enjoy sticking to a routine, which makes the milking process smoother. These advanced milking parlors outperform traditional machines, increasing the milk flow rate by 30%. Before attaching the milking cups, workers disinfect the cow's udders with an iodine solution. This process mimics the sucking motion of a calf to ensure organic milk production. The entire procedure takes about 7 minutes, and after milking, the cups automatically detach. These animals spend around 8 hours a day eating. Consuming 100 pounds of feed and 80 gallons of water, a cow can produce up to 10 gallons of milk a day, 7 days a week. Thanks to technological advancements and more nutrient-rich feeds, today's cows are 3 times more productive than they were 50 years ago. A dairy cow starts producing milk at around 2 years old, once she gives birth to her first calf. Typically, the calf is separated from its mother within an hour of birth to prevent harmful bacteria from reaching the mother's udder. From then on, the calf is bottle-fed with its mother's milk, while the cow begins her career as a milk producer. For 305 consecutive days, the cow is milked twice a day, after which she gets a well-deserved 60-day break to give birth to another calf. Once the cow delivers, the milking process begins all over again. The liquid produced by cows is a nutrient-rich substance that consists of 87% water. This process begins when food is digested in the cow's stomach and transformed into nutrients, which are absorbed into the bloodstream. These nutrients travel to the mammary glands, where they are converted into the valuable liquid we know as milk. Milk is collected from the udder at a temperature of 90 degrees Fahrenheit and transported via pumps into storage tanks, which are then cooled. In these tanks, the milk is stored at a safe temperature of 36 to 37 degrees Fahrenheit. However, at this stage, the milk is still in its natural state and may contain harmful microorganisms. That's why it is loaded into a 5,300-gallon tanker truck and taken to a dairy processing plant. After the milk has passed all stages of quality control, it is sent to a centrifuge separator to speed up the separation process. In the top section, cone-shaped discs spin at an impressive speed of 7,000 revolutions per minute, processing over 5,800 gallons per hour. Under the force of centrifugal action, the heavier skim milk moves outward, while the lighter cream moves toward the center. As a result, we get cream with a fat content of around 20% and skim milk with a fat content of less than 1%. The skim milk serves as the starting point for making condensed milk. Next, the milk undergoes the pasteurization process to destroy any bacteria present. To begin this procedure, the milk is first cooled to a temperature of around 37 degrees Fahrenheit, then passed through a heat exchanger that raises its temperature to 162 degrees Fahrenheit. After heating, the milk is transferred to a chamber where it is held for 15.5 seconds, achieving the required level of pasteurization. The milk is then cooled back down to 37 degrees Fahrenheit. In less than 40 seconds, complete pasteurization reduces the bacteria count in the product by 99%. Before the introduction of pasteurization technology, most consumed milk was in its natural state, leading to quick spoilage and exposing people to the risk of infection from potentially dangerous microorganisms. In 1862, the famous French scientist Louis Pasteur proposed an innovative solution originally aimed at preventing wine from spoiling, which was later applied to milk. After milk is pasteurized, a large amount of sugar is added to it. The sugar not only gives the milk a sweet taste, but also acts as a preservative, helping to extend its shelf life. The mixture of milk and sugar is reheated so that the sugar fully dissolves and becomes uniform. The heat not only helps dissolve the sugar, but also prevents the formation of crystals that could affect the smooth texture of condensed milk. After this, the milk enters an evaporator, an enormous device designed to remove water from the milk. At this stage, the milk becomes thicker as the water content is reduced by about 60%. Using heat and pressure, the evaporator manages to evaporate the water from the milk without altering its properties, allowing the concentration of solids like proteins, sugars, and fats. This process gives condensed milk its thick texture and delightful sweet flavor. The evaporator consists of a series of vertical structures called calandrias. Inside each calandria is a set of stainless steel tubes through which the milk circulates. A steam chamber surrounds these tubes. The milk enters each calandria from the top and flows down through tiny channels. As it moves downward, the steam enveloping the tubes heats the milk, causing the water within it to evaporate. Once the milk reaches the desired thickness, it is removed from the evaporator. Next, the milk undergoes an additional process called homogenization, where the fat is broken down into small uniform particles to improve its consistency and stability. Before the condensed milk is packaged, the containers must be sterilized to eliminate any microorganisms that could affect the product's quality. Once the condensed milk is processed and has reached the perfect consistency, it is transferred to a packaging machine. These machines precisely measure the required amount of product into each container, ensuring consistency and reducing waste. After filling, the containers are sealed tightly to prevent any contaminants from entering. To ensure the product's safety, the filled and sealed containers undergo an additional sterilization process. The cans are placed in autoclaves, where they are exposed to steam under high pressure to destroy any remaining microorganisms. This procedure ensures that the condensed milk inside the container is completely safe to consume and has a long shelf life. In addition to meeting domestic demand, condensed milk is widely exported around the world. Thanks to its long shelf life and high nutritional value, it is a popular product in countries with limited access to fresh milk. Condensed milk-producing countries like the United States and several European nations actively supply this product to markets in Asia, Africa, and Latin America. The export of condensed milk helps strengthen international trade relationships and ensures that people in various regions have access to quality dairy nutrition.